Bachmann Turner
Backman.
overdrive. Yeah. He went into overdrive in midfield all the time. As soon as the ball was up that end, it was. I don't know why someone didn't try to turn around and lob him because he was
Well, this
standing on
is
the
it.
centre circle half the
This
time.
is it. I mean, Kane's done that before, isn't he?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't actually. It should happen more because you see keepers do this all the time. But yeah, it is a bit of a strange thing. I can't quite work out how they get away with it. But obviously, they're doing it for a reason,
Mm.
and that is to sweep up, I guess, if any balls come through. But obviously, someone's got a decent clearance. They're a bit
Hmm.
buggered,
Hmm.
aren't they? As we saw in the European Championships.
I
Um,
mean, also going back to the start of that game, they looked like there could have been a pen on for Kane.
hmm.
I'm wondering, like, because as in the first like 20, 25 seconds, whether the ref just like said play on, do you reckon they would have given that if it was
I
like
don't know.
five minutes in?
I wasn't sure it was a penalty actually. I think Kane went down quite easily. I don't know. Where were you sitting? Where are you sitting?
We were sort of northwest lower.
Okay. So you got a good
Yeah,
view of that
yeah, I
then.
was right
Yeah,
opposite it really.
yeah.
So
Because I'm the
it
other
looked to
end.
me like
Yeah,
it was a penalty, but then
yeah,
I'm not standing with the referee standing. But
yeah,
I wondered because it was quite a clatter that if that was 5 minutes into the game, that might well been given or at least looked at by VAR.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting actually. Yeah, it seemed like more of a coming together really, rather than the defender actually clattering him. But as I said, I didn't really see it, so that's just what I saw at the time. But yeah,
I-
no, that was
I've got a confession to make as well, Steve. I was going to call you that, Andy.
that's all right. You can call me Steve.
Um, I went for a piss when Sonny scored his goal.
Oh no!
And I've got a habit of this because when Sonny did his scored his Pushkas goal, I also went for a slash
Oh bloody
and I
hell!
missed that as well.
Oh
So
no!
now every
Bloody
time
hell!
people around me like that, go for a pee. Go for
Yeah,
a...
bloody hell! Because that Puskas goal, oh god, I'll never
Ah,
forget that. That was incredible. But
I know. Yeah.
yeah, wow. Because I was sitting with
I was in the stadium, but just wasn't watching
just
it at the
wasn't
time.
watching it. No, exactly. Yeah, because I'd moved down slightly lower in the Paxton. I was sitting next to Jamie,
Okay.
the hospitality dart player,
Yeah.
and and yeah, it was perfect. That was just like fate, really, to be there and just seeing that just unfold. But at least this time you saw a goal that um, wasn't really I'm not saying it didn't matter that you missed it, but you can imagine what happened
No,
because of
no.
exactly
I
what
had to
happened.
cut it short and I ran up the stairs and I was standing at the top of the stairs with probably a bit of piss dribbling down my leg. Um, and I saw it on the screen going. I was like, I thought, shall I pretend that I actually saw this? Nah, I thought, nah,
Yeah, well, that's
you know.
just the way it is, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. That's what
Ah,
beer
well,
does to you. Yeah,
yeah. Well, especially the amount we had because I think we had several at the Redemption. Then I think we had one or two before the game in Beavertown.
oh wow.
And then we
Yeah.
had one at the halftime and then the two afterwards as
Oh
well in
wow.
there.
Oh god.
So yeah, that's why my voice is a bit croaky today, actually.
Because of the beerishness. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
yeah,
gone all Barry White.
yeah. No, that's it's the shouting and the beer does that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we've kind of covered the games
Mm,
one way or
mm.
another. So is there anything else you wanted
Well,
to
I
pick up
thought
on?
we'll just have a look at the transfer window with that
Mm,
shutting tomorrow.
mm,
And,
yeah,
do we think that Paratici is going to be a hero or a villain, according to someone there that, he's still inept and not doing a good job, but he's got
yeah,
shot of Foyth, Rose, Sissoko, Hart, Alderweireld, Lamella, Gazaniga.
yeah,
We brought in Saar, Romero, Galini, Hill. Don't know. We might be bringing in this Emerson as well.
yeah. Looks like
I mean,
it.
that looks.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty good turnaround. I mean, that's a fair few that have gone out that we thought should.
yeah, yeah. And I
And
think that the getting them out process is probably more important than the getting them in
mhm,
process in a way.
I think you'll get
And
Oria out and Debelly out before tomorrow.
I don't think they'll get rid of Ndombele because I think his wages are high, and I suspect what will happen is that we'll keep, we won't get rid of him, and he'll have to just pull his socks up and start getting involved.
Hmm.
Which he's a great player. So
If we can
in
get him
terms of
motivated, he might be
yeah,
the answer to that
yeah,
problem. Where
yeah,
that creativity problem that we've talked about, really, where we need that player who can start to link it all up a little bit better and perhaps help give us
exactly.
the chances to start storming these games instead.
Yeah,
He's the perfect player, for
he
that. But
is. He is.
can we get it out? Because the Mourinho couldn't, Pochettino couldn't,
Mason didn't bother with him at all.
Mason, it didn't bother at all, did he? No.
No,
So,
no.
he's got to be a bit of a miracle worker, really, to get him
Yeah,
in the right headspace.
yeah. But then, if Ndombele's just not gonna literally play ball, then what can you
Mm.
do? And
And I mean, the way around it might be to say, look, you want to move, but no, at the moment, nobody's buying you because
hmm,
they probably think your attitude stinks.
yeah, so
So
buck your
if you can
ideas up.
show,
Yeah,
buck your ideas up,
yeah,
show that what a baller you are, and
yeah,
perhaps by January or summer, everyone's going to come knocking at your door and
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
yeah, all right, we're interested.
yeah, exactly. It's yeah, it works both ways, doesn't it? So yeah, I think he'll stay. Aurier, I hear that there's loads of interest for him, so I guess there's every chance he could go, and I would imagine that things are in place for him to potentially go, and for Emerson Royale to come in to
Mm.
replace him,
I
which would
mean,
be great, if that
was it
happens.
Aurier that wanted out, or did Nuno just not like him playing Uno?
I think Aurier wanted out, from what I hear, but of course I don't know the reality on these things. So,
Mm.
but yeah, it's for me, it's a decent transfer window,
Hmm.
but the elephant in the room is always the striker position. What
Mm.
happens when Harry does get injured this season, because he always does.
Hmm.
Do we then rely on Sonny again, and then we play Hill and Lucas and Bergwin,
It's like
which kind of works, but
it does. I
uh,
mean, they've all the managers said, haven't they, up to now? It's really a difficult thing to improve what we've got. It's just,
yeah,
I mean, we've seen with Vinicius,
yeah,
he was not really good enough, was he? So there's no point really in getting
that's
somebody
right.
in who's just going to be a make weight, who's probably never ever going to
Yeah,
get a game apart
yeah,
from playing, you know, Carabag or something.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
we just you've got to you might as well wait and get the right player at the right moment when it presents itself, and that might happen tomorrow. I doubt it,
yes, yes.
but we need, because the others can definitely fill in,
Mm.
but long term you need that, probably someone who's like 23, 24, and will grow into that role and be a good striker and option to play alongside Kane at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Scarlett is the one that we can, keep in there to
Maybe.
to do it, but you can't rely on someone so young
No.
to
And you
do
could
that.
also break him, couldn't you? You bring him in too
Yeah,
early as
yeah,
as a couple of stinkers, and all of a sudden his confidence is shot to bits.
especially if the fans get on his back. Yeah,
Mm.
that would be a nightmare. So yeah, that doesn't. They don't want that to happen, obviously.
So do you reckon this Emerson deal pretty much snuffs out the Tomiyasu one?
I think it would. Yeah, yeah. I
Mm.
don't see both happening. Um, as we know, Paratici likes to have 5 to 10 deals on at the same time, which is why everything gets reported and no one seems to know exactly what we're up to. But and of course, there's loads of bollocks written as well. But that's another matter altogether.
And this Emerson guy is about twice the money of Tomiyasu, so
Yeah,
he's gone really after him. I mean,
yeah,
I've just read something earlier on today. Someone saying that they spoke to someone about Emerson Royale. Says he saw a glimpse of Danny Alves at
yeah,
Real Betis.
yeah,
Tells me he's shocked that Barca have even let him go, deemed to be one of the biggest talents on their books.
yeah. Yeah,
Great
no, that's
signing,
right.
you
I've
know.
I've watched some YouTube clips of him, and everything thing he does is perfect. So
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, well,
but
they're in a financial predicament, aren't they? So
yeah, they are.
they're really
They
going
are.
to have to sell some assets.
Yeah, they don't have much choice at the moment
No.
because they're going to have to keep their senior players to keep things ticking over. reduce their wages, but sell off all these talented youngsters from
Mm.
La Masia, and what a state to get into. I mean,
To be fair, I'm surprised the vultures haven't been circling more.
yeah, I know it is interesting. Maybe they have, been quite tough on the matter and stubborn with some of their players, but yeah, I mean, if we land this guy, I'm not saying he's going to be the solution to our right back position, but it's certainly something that we can build for the future.
Oh, totally.
And
Yeah.
and he's got good experience in La Liga. He's played a few times for Barca. He's played a few times for the Brazil first team national side.
Hmm.
So
I mean,
yeah,
so
he's
far we've not
obviously
brought in
talented.
any journeymen. I mean, I know some of them
Mm,
might not be household names, but they're exciting players that have got lots of
yeah,
potential and
yeah,
very creative type players. So
yeah,
that obviously the remit is there. This club we like to play a certain way, so we've looked for players that are
exactly.
in that mold. So
Yes,
you
yes. I
can't
mean,
argue.
that's what Leicester do, and that's what
Yeah.
we kind of want to do, isn't it? We want to
Oh,
follow that
yeah.
that clever Leicester smart
Hmm.
buying approach, and bringing in marquee signings is a bit of a fallacy in a way, isn't it? Because
Well,
you're paying for top dollar for a player that you want to hit the ground running, and does that ever happen? It's
not always. I mean, so occasionally it does, but I mean, even with the, I mean, I suppose it'd be churlish to say that maybe Ronaldo won't hit the ground running, but he's 37,
hmm,
and the Premier League is going to be, it's going to be tricky for a 37-year-old.
yeah, yeah,
I think he'll do well, but I mean, he's going to be on astronomical wages.
yeah,
Is it
yes.
really what they need? I don't
It's
know
the
if it's
it's the
really what they
typical
need.
it's the typical big club statement approach, isn't
Mm,
it? It's let's PSG's just got Messi. Let's get Ronaldo back. Let's
mm.
our sponsors will love it. Obviously, commercially, it's a
Yeah. Oh, they'll make a
brilliant thing.
killing commercially.
Yeah,
But is
yeah.
he really what they need? And because if
No, I
he's
don't
not
think
playing
so.
week in, week out, he's going to have a strop.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And who who,
So
who gets sacrificed out of that? They've just bought Sancho.
well, this is it. They bought Sancho. Mason Greenwood's actually having a good start to the season. Does he get
Mm.
dropped? Does Rashford, you know, the you know the you know the great kind of iconic modern day footballer for Man United, or do they just bring Ronaldo in for Champions League games, or I don't know.
We could have a sweepstake though, couldn't we? Who's the first to dive out of Fernandez and Ronaldo?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, bollocks to them.
Yeah,
We've
fuck him.
talked enough about Man
Yeah,
U.
exactly. Absolutely. So, yeah, just going back to the window, I think the best signing this window is actually Paratici.
Yeah, I
I think we'll probably
100%.
find out that's going to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
going forward, because whatever we needed to solve, we couldn't do it in this window. We won't
Mm,
do it in January because January is never a good window, and Hitchin doesn't like it anyway. So
no.
Paratici is probably going to hear a lot about that. And then next summer, I could see that we're going to have even more plans. So if
Yeah,
Harry is going, I would have thought things are already in place now to find a replacement for him and others, that we
yeah.
need to replace, like in Dembele,
I
etc.
mean, a similar situation. I do hope he stays, and I still think that that's in the balance. He probably could stay next year, because there's so much yet to be decided. The whole team might start clicking. We might win a trophy. We might end up in the top four,
Mm,
and again that changes the landscape. As we said before,
totally
Haaland's
does. Yeah.
available. Mbappe. Well, he looks like he's going to Real Madrid now, but that shuts that avenue off.
I think
Um,
that's not happening. So I think he'll be available. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and so I think the landscape will be different, but
Hmm.
um, I think I've lost my train of thought.
That's all right. I do
Can't
that
remember
all the
what I
time.
was-
I don't
can't-
even know what I'm doing.
No, I'm one of those people that go to the fridge for something. I forgot I went what I went to the
Yeah.
bloody fridge for.
I go to the fridge sometimes thinking, what is a fridge? What does that do?
Yeah, well, that's an existential question.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah,
it real?
yeah.
Schrodinger's fridge.
Yeah, well, Schroeder. Yeah, did you want to do some quantum mechanics?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
that will really then that everyone will know that it's time to